everyone, I've made a level pack called Color Conquest for the one-stage many acts competition. Now, I have a lot to say about how I designed this, but basically this pack is about a new color mechanic I've invented where objects can be targeted with color words like brown, for example. So, all feeling brown is push, makes the rock push. So, this level pack is going to show off many cool interactions with these words. This is going to be a half commentary, half walkthrough. So first of all, we have all feeling X, which is a construction using the word feeling. Now, feeling is a expansion word. Unfortunately, it isn't so intuitive what it means, and I wish maybe they picked a better word such as that. So all that's blue is float makes more sense as a sentence, but basically it just targets any object with that color or property. And yes, it is possible to have a property in here instead of a color. Now, I wasn't sure whether to make this level difficult or not. So it's easy to medium difficulty like the rest of the pack, basically. So first of all, we need to get the word blue up into this section. So we will need to push the rock, making it face to the right using using a push in order to make it face to the right. And then you change this to all feeling brown as a move to move the rock. Now, we will have to get blue in here, but we are still not done with the level, as all blue objects are floating. So we control all blue objects, which include the flowers. So to fix this, what we need to do is get the text Baba out of here, and then say skull is Baba. Now, rock will be kind of in your way. Not really that much, though. And then we can say Baba is you, and Baba isn't floating, so we can get this win in. So there's the world map. Pretty grayscale. And we do have a bit of teasers of future levels, but we need 3 to unlock this gate. So, Silken Expectations. Now this level I made quite early on, before even I made the actual first level. So, all feeling blue is sink. So we have water and bubbles, which are both sinking because they're blue. And all feeling brown is push, which includes the rocks. And we want to get to that flag down there. But unfortunately, it seems like it costs way too many rocks in order to sink. Sink will allow you to sacrifice objects. But there just seemingly isn't enough to get that. And we do have this text called purple here. We can potentially try to use purple, but oh. Well, first of all, this bubble's in the way. We could have fixed that as well, but then we have this, which is also in the way. So it seems completely impossible to do anything here. But there is something suspicious on the top right. Now, you have to understand what it actually means when all feeling green is you. And basically what colors actually mean. Because this green, the algae at the top, is you. It is playable. It's just that it seems like it's not because there's effectively a rock object underneath it. All feeling brown is pushed, so we can push that out of the way. And now we can control both player characters, but it's not obvious that the top right is actually incredibly relevant to the puzzle, and the purple is a purple herring. So, I like that puzzle. It was an idea, construction I always wanted to make, and honestly, I wanted to make the top right even more subtle, but this isn't meant to be that difficult of a pack. So, no longer white, level 3. So, lamp was originally yellow, until someone pointed out correctly that that should be win. So, lamp is now orange. So, we got so basically, first of all, I sped right past the opening. And some people, like, I've seen 2 people so far get caught up with this grass section, where Baba near grass is blue, and when you're near grass, you're blue, and notably, your default color, white, is no longer happening. So you're no longer white, and that's relevant because all feeling white is you, it's not Baba is you. And the trick here is that this area is not protected at all by grass. And you'll also note that all of Baba above lamp is orange. I kind of wish this was a more involved section because there's really no point to, there's no realization or need to go inside this lamp, but I think it's just a cool section. Now, this, originally, I had a cheese going on here, which is kind of embarrassing. But here you can switch around it to say all feeling red is win, and make the crab winning instead. But, you still can't access it. So, here is the actual trick in this level. And this is actually heavily inspired, you might even say stealing, of a level called Door to Door, which I have played. But this is even more subtle due to the grass making it not so obvious how you can stop, and the potential of some red herrings as well. So we need to cycle around the push so that is the one that comes in first. Now, it almost seems like you might want to say lamp is push to get the lamp out of the way, but that is not involved at all. So the most obvious thing to do, which will ultimately not work, is to say Baba is push, and yeah. So that does not work, it costs too much. So the actual way to do this is we get the is safely in here, push this past, and then push it here. This is the only way to get text to the left, and that is because we are going to say Baba is push. Now, Baba's push is actually a meaningful statement, but not in the way you'd think. In other levels, push might mean that other moving objects might be able to push Baba around, but this is not the case for this level. In this level, it's used so that Baba can be targeted by feeling. So all feeling pushes you, and now it doesn't matter that Baba is not white or orange in here, as we are you because of the push property, not because of a color property. So that means we can easily go into the flag and win. Now that we got 3, the gate is opened. And I like this. It's not that much, but I like it. It's like turning the color scheme from grayscale to unexpected colors. And this was post-launch, but the gray at the bottom is also switched to rosy, selected like the cursor here. And all the skulls are gone. So I think that was a nice touch that I added. But ultimately, this map didn't actually take much effort to make it all. So gold choice, level 4. This level is, well, first of all, we need to immediately choose which pieces of text to get rid of, but there are some obvious candidates. We have some seemingly useless color words and seemingly useless negative property traits. However, as we'll see shortly, I am choosing these for a reason. So you could try all feeling yellow is purple and all feeling yellow is red, so you can see these update to show the colors. Now, technically, this is a little paradoxical that a red object is feeling yellow, so if I had more time, maybe I could make this an inf loop, as it could conceivably be, but I didn't bother with that. So there's a bunch of text all around, Ghost is defeat and Ghost is ghost. It seems like there's nothing to do, and the right side is very suspicious. There's a bunch of bubbles there, but you probably will not predict how to actually access the right side of the level. So get all this text in here. And yeah, you can do all feeling yellow is text, so you get ring and flag. But look at this. Text feeling yellow is you. And now you can control yellow text. It's just I think that's so cool. It's not in the main game, but after seeing it, I think it really should have been. It fits right in. But anyway, at this point we have 2 characters, effectively, one being flag and win. We cannot sacrifice either of them. So what's next? Oh, okay, actually, accidentally sacrificed the word purple. It doesn't matter, because purple is another purple herring. So, some text that's exposed is algae is stop. But if you notice, you immediately have problems, because up and down will move the word yellow away from the statement that makes us you. So we will not do that right now. However, there is this ghost is move that is possible here. And this is actually highly relevant. We set up red to be in here, then maneuver this text around. Okay. So we are in position to make flag is win. Now, look at this. Let's hide a little bit and break algae is stop. Now, we get text feeling red is you. If you didn't see it before, maybe you will now. But the text not is red, so we can control it this way. And there you go. And purple, yeah, just another purple herring. Next level, Bog Bite. I didn't successfully remove the subtitles. Those were for level codes. Anyway, so this level is all about the bog, water, lava, and cloud. Now, if you're not familiar with lava, it's maybe fine, but if you're not, basically, bog, water, lava, and cloud all use the same sprite. And this was the perfect time to make this a level. So basically, because they use the same sprite, in this level, blue turns the bog into water. And the same thing is true for orange, which turns it into lava. So now, this is actually really relevant because this changes the state in some important ways. So blue turns it into sinking water, which sacrifices text. Orange, we can get through past all the orange lava now, but if you look at the bottom right, it says text is melt, so we cannot transfer this win over. So we need to do something that allows us to get the win into place. Now, what's also suspicious here is cyan over here. And if you have enough understanding of how lava and water makes sense here, then you'll realize that if we turn the bog into cyan, it'll be floating and no longer affect us. But actually, don't tell anyone, but the floating isn't actually what makes it safe. What makes it safe is that it's no longer bog. But anyway, we got the cyan, and we need to move this cyan to a more easily accessible location. So to do that, we actually cycle it like this. This is a cool trick that may or may not be heavily inspired off an Xerity level called crossing the line. Anyway, so we bring the cyan over here. I should not have sacrificed blue. That was dumb. I sacrificed blue at the start of the level while demonstrating stuff and was dumb. Anyway, so you can probably make an even more complicated level with this, but I wanted things to be a little easygoing. So cyan goes over here, especially because my last level pack, people complained it was too hard, and I definitely went all out with trying to create solutions for that one. While this, just in 2 days. But anyway, we turn into blue. Actually, no, we don't actually need to do any more, I think. So we do that, and then break this side. No, we actually do need to do more. We need to get this piece of text over here so that while it's blue, we can sync it. Now, I had an even easier version of this as the release version, I think. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure whether to make this harder or easier, but one of the solutions in the easy version did not use orange at all, which was kind of inelegant. But anyway, here we are. We have the cloud, and now we have win. So here we go. Bob is win. So yeah, very proud that I got to use that concept. Even though it was a concept that I had in my mind for a long time. Anyway, Suspicious Rainbow. This level has a lot going on in it, and it is, much like some of the other levels, hugely red herring based. So, All Feeling Blue Is You, for example, controls the bubbles at the very right, and red controls the crab, and ultimately we need 3 objects to sync in order to reach the stump, which is win. Note that all the objects in here are pretty much brown and gray. All the objects that we can't control, such as fence, stump, and husk. And some objects are more suspicious than others. For example, All Feeling Purple Is You targets the bat, but it's inside a sentence, which has the side effect of allowing you to sync this piece of text. And then we have the suspicious fire over here, which can allow you to do this and get the fire past here. We also have a suspicious green, which can go to the right or to the left. The right allows you to mess with the word white, and that allows control of levers as well as control of Baba. Well, if it was possible anyway, which is relevant if you manage to get purple and then white, because it could break Baba's U. But yeah, it does seem like there is a lot to do in this level, and I'm not sure I want to show off the potentially failed ideas. For example, if you look at here, if you use blue like that, suddenly the lever looks really close. But actually, the level is designed to make everything seem just one-off. And unfortunately, besides like wasting your time, I will not be able to show you any hints or anything close, as the solution is basically only one idea to it. So this is basically your last chance in case you were watching. but as I will spoil it now. So the first object you put in does not actually matter. Of course, yellow and red are equivalent here, but the first object we put in is actually orange, which seems very unintuitive. And to be fair, you could put another object past orange to push away the text. It just doesn't actually matter. So for example, you could do all feeling purple is you, break something, and then orange would remove purple. But ultimately, that object does not actually matter that we did that. So let's get orange out. Now the second step is to use these pieces of text like this, and then put it specifically there. And that is so that we can use the green and push text past here, and then we get to stump. So that is not very obvious. It's very much a troll, but there it is. So dual color. This one was added post-release, and the judges for the contest ultimately did not play this level. But anyway, this is an idea that I just had to put in. It was very funny, but also it's very overcomplicated. But ultimately, there is one simple trick involved this, and with some experimentation, you could find it. So first of all, this section at the left allows you to set one of the colors to push and the other to hot. So we have orange objects, and also note that we make Baba make tiles, so there's no going back after doing this. So we can push around objects, and we have cog and melt that has love, so we need a hot object to go onto the cog. So we have these push and sections over here, but note when you try to make them, it will cause you to be unable to come back, unless maybe you had other objects pushing it in. Now, all of this is actually just red herring stuff. And with some experimentation, you would potentially notice the discrepancy, as there is one object that sticks out more than most in this section. That object is the pizza. Notice that it's push here, but if I set it to brown, it is also push here. So that is the reason this level is called dual color. The pizza has orange and brown on it. This is not any custom sprite I made, by the way. Pizza is a base game object that has two colors on it. So just how to use that object. I probably did not disguise it well enough with obscure other objects, but that is the entire puzzle. Just make an orange plus brown object, and that allows it to work. So, finally, last two levels, Empty Feelings. I kind of like how this level is set to level O, which looks like level 0. But anyway, this level went through some redesigns, and ultimately, because it was inconsistent, and none of the judges actually found the way more complicated solution, which used right to say fungi right. That's spoilers to say. Anyway. No, actually, I'm gonna say it, even though it spoils the level. Fungi right black. And that is because this level is taking advantage of, well, if objects could be represented by their default colors, and text could also be represented with colors, empty also has a color. And of course, you can't make empty as you immediately. So we have these colors. It is very much implying a color. And there are some troll objects here, such as key, which you can make, as well as cake, as well as some other objects, of course. But they ultimately don't help. We are going to make empty feeling black, of course. So, not an overly complicated level, but considering that anagram levels are hit or miss, I felt like this was only fair to ultimately not make it that complicated. So flag is win. Empty is you allows you to control all the empty squares as if they were pieces of text. No, as if they were you, not pieces of text. Anyway, so we have the final level, colored tile maze. I think this Tinker music is underused. It really feels like a massive meme. But anyway, Bombardier Crab is red. Wow, I just spoiled everything. It doesn't matter because you probably didn't look at this for just hints anyway. But Bombardier Crab is red. And not tile feeling red is defeat. So the text on the right means that if I go near a crab, I die. If I go near one of the bogs, I double move. And cyan is float. Although that does not really help that much. Well, it does help because skulls defeat, and we can float over the skulls. But yeah, this level is pretty much just a meme. We even have open, which is a useless property. I was hoping to make it shut. But yeah, so the entire trope of this level is that the background flower objects, there is a hole in there, and you can break this. So now you can access the cyan. Okay. Just need to make this correct setup to move this cyan. Now, the gems in the way will actually move these around if you're not careful. But yeah, we need to say cyan. If we did not say cyan, we would die because skulls defeat over there. And we need to set it to cyan to make crabs help us float over this. And then we have level is end. I accidentally didn't show the credits off here, huh? That's because I had to edit these levels for level code. It's always annoying to do that, but yeah. Level is win. And ordinarily, we'd show up an ending, but nope. Here we go. Area complete. So that's the entire pack, and I think this pack went through a lot of good concepts, and I guess I'll show the behind the scenes of some of this stuff now. Okay, so here are all the levels, and we have some unused levels, such as Discerning, which was... This is actually solvable, but it's a huge, ugly mess. It's the worst thing ever. The whole meme was that gray and silver are similar colors, that you have to figure out what the difference was. As well as cyan, which looks very different from blue. But yeah, ultimately, level name was Discerning Modern Art, and it was removed for good reason. If you want to see the behind the scenes of these levels, the hidden text required wasn't actually that much. You can see that it's just like me is purple, UFO is purple up here, which ultimately was not used in this level, but basically all I need to say was rock is brown, flower is blue, flag is yellow, and that did it for the first level. So there's very little hidden text, and it allowed levels to be uploaded through the level code system. So here, very similar stuff. And here, to make Baba feeling X is not white actually requires a special rule. Otherwise, it would actually alternate between white and the other color. So, see, this is what would actually happen if Baba was considered white as well as blue. So that's why it was ultimately not done. And I think this was a good mechanic and intuitive. Gold choice was easily the most difficult to implement, I think. Because, of course, text feeling yellow is used, not a real base game mechanic. So first of all, the start of the level is not actually saying all. The all is a piece of text that looks like all, but is actually not. What is actually all is group, because the real all would target some of the hidden objects. And there are two hidden control objects. One of them stacks on top of all the yellow text, and the other stacks on top of the red text. So you see a hidden hand here, and it's actually cash that is underneath the yellow objects here. You'll see that the control objects are considered their specific color. For example, we have hand is red and hide, which is the red control text. So I'm proud that I made this level and everything looks fine, but geez, this level went through a lot of redesigns before it actually worked out correctly. And also the hidden objects need to be pushed so they'd be consistent with the moving ghost. But yeah. There's that. Now in Bog Bite, of course, objects do not literally become what water, for example. So if I did water here, this just wouldn't work out the same way. So first of all, water is not the right color, but that's fine. If water is blue, then this would work out. But as you can see, there's a very obvious animation there, and once you do that, it doesn't actually turn back into the bog, which is the expected property behavior for color properties. So that's why I did not use actual pieces of water text. What is actually there is that bogs feel certain properties. So you can see there's actually pixels in the way to hide this, but bog feeling blue is sink, bog feeling orange is hot. You know, as you'd expect it to work. As well as the statement, bog feeling not win is not defeat. That's very unintuitive. That is something I learned from the Repos pack. But basically, it just means that if bog is feeling anything else that isn't win, then it will lose its defeat property. If I did not have this here, then if I did orange, those are technically still bug objects, so it would be defeat, but it's not consistent within my logic of the invented mechanic that it is defeat, so that's why that piece of text statement is there. All of the stuff in this is coded with hidden text. And we have various objects in order to hide some of the control text. The existence of hidden text actually restricts the design of this quite a bit. Like you've seen this in some of Ollie's packs as well, which is another creator who has done mechanics with hidden text. It restricts your ability to have that many moving parts because otherwise that exposes some of the hidden text and you have to block it or do stuff like that. Suspicious Rainbow is not coded in the same way as other things, although maybe it would be easy because there's a bunch of fences everywhere. But the way this is actually done is with a bunch of hidden text objects such as Skull, which is colored the same as the background, and stacked below the colors. So in some sense, this is actually really elegant because there's no other hidden text in the level. In another sense, it's more inelegant because if you press in the pause menu, you do see the hidden rules. Dual color is simple. Pizza is both brown and orange set in the rules text. And it's really not complicated. Similarly, empty is set to black. Except I did troll. Streamer Mountebank played this level pack and spoiled themselves by looking in the editor because they're nuts. Like, come on. You do have to set every object in the palette though. That was something that I had to deal with. If you don't set an object in the palette, then it will not be available when you try to make it as a word, which can create some inconsistent feeling behavior, but I assume that was done for version purposes. You wouldn't want a level to get cheesed by a new object after all. So that orange is actually just a reskin black to troll people. The final level, Colored Tile Maze, is not that special, except the gems have a hidden rule to them, which is actually a hidden tile rule. We actually do a switcheroo with the gem and the tile piece of text because that line of text with the gem is red, orange, yellow, lime, and cyan is actually... What it's actually saying is seldom and seldom tile, which creates the tiles switching colors. And the real gem rule is hidden at the left, in case you didn't realize. Seldom is a seldom used property that makes things luck-based, but because tiles don't actually matter, it's fine. And finally, the map. We use the pixel as hide to hide some of the pieces of text that involve the text gray at the bottom changing to rows. But other than that, it's simple. It doesn't involve much. Basically, all the text here is just for this gray text to switch into another sprite, which says Rose, or says Rosie, which is actually just a belt. So there you go. You stuck it out this far. I appreciate you, and hope you enjoy playing this pack. So see ya. Bye.